agree with that. I agree with that. Let's go to Dennis here in Indiana. Dennis, you are on the air here with Truth Wanted. What is up?
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. I got a couple pet peeves.
A couple pet peeves. Let's hear your pet peeves.
Yeah. Well, the first one is about gravity. You know how Christians and theists are always bringing up how evolution's a piece of shit and all that, but they believe in the theory of gravity. They like to call it just a theory. Well, the situation is we have all kinds of evidence about evolution, DNA, fossils, the environment. We know how it works intimately. We have no idea how gravity works. We know the effects of it.
I don't know, Dennis. I think we have some idea. I think, like, if I know I'm gonna, if I drop this phone, I think I have an idea that it is gonna fall, right?
That's the effects of gravity. That's the effects of gravity.
Well, that's
not understanding how it works.
But that's
okay.
Isn't that a part of gravity, though? If I understand the effects of something, Dennis, do I at least have an idea of something?
Yeah, you have an idea, but
okay. But you said nobody has any idea about gravity.
Know about the quantum level. We don't know about galaxies, how the stars should be flying apart.
And so
we invented dark matter.
Totally.
We have no clue.
Totally, Dennis. And I totally agree with you there. There's so much we can know exactly how gravity works. But you made the claim that we have no idea about it, and I'm saying, well, we can at least point to something. That's all I want to make there, right?
No, we have no idea how it works. We have an idea about gravity.
Yeah. Well, okay. You can't say that we have no idea how it works, and then you say we have an idea about gravity. To me, that's.
I think we're dinkered over
maybe
semantics here.
Maybe so.
Yeah, I would say it's like if you went back before Darwin, and you made a statement. Okay, if you took gravity back to that point, and we knew no more about evolution we do now, that's where we're at with gravity. At that point, Darwin noticed the species and how they were changing and stuff, so he made up his theory. Well, we're not that aware with gravity. All we do is measure the effects of gravity. We know the formulas with Newton. We can measure the stars and the orbits. Now, they say, now this is what I've never understood about it, that everything in the universe is connected together gravitationally, and I can't understand how it can happen at the speed of light. I don't buy that. I think there's some way there's infinite velocity particles or another universe that connects all this stuff. Okay, that's all I had to say about that. Pretty much.
Okay.
But the other thing is Lawrence Krauss. I'm pissed off at him because he said it was nothing. I say the universe came from everything. Well, everything that
Dennis, hold on. We gotta provide some context for what you're saying here. So are you referring to Lawrence Krauss's book, A Universe from Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And in the
he
book
said,
go ahead.
He basically said everything came from nothing, and the religious people have been picking about that for years. And we've had to defend it. And it didn't come from nothing. It came from everything. If he'd have just said it came from everything, we wouldn't be having this mess.
Yeah. I agree with you. The wording of that book, and I've read that book myself. It's an incredibly fascinating book. I do recommend you read it if you haven't already. But, you know, like, you can definitely get into arguments about the semantics of the words. And, like, he has an argument in the book of why he's choosing to use the word nothing. I'm like kind of on it. I don't know if you've read it, but it's just like, I think it causes more confusion for people. It's the same reason what we were talking about earlier about using the word faith. It's like it just that's a word that has context for people and has cultural definitions and cultural understandings that just don't translate well over a mass audience where people can like pick fights about what we're meaning when we're saying that, right?
Exactly. And honestly, though, like, if he had said it came from everything, then we would be arguing that everything is God.
That's true. Yep.
So regardless of the word used, theists are going to pick it up and try and use it themselves.
Yes, that is true as well.
Yeah, but see, they use the argument, something can't come from nothing. That's the argument they always use.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms as well, because if we were talking about something coming from nothing, then it doesn't necessarily apply that nothing is something, yada, yada, yada.
Right, exactly.
It's a whole
go
thing.
back to caller number one.
Going back to caller number one, like, it's something we talked about on the show before. It doesn't really pan out. And even if it did make some sort of logical sense, it's still pretty weak on its face.
Yeah,
it's
anybody who has any understanding of how we assume things actually went down, and the understanding of what the singularity is and what nothing, quote unquote, is. That argument falls on its face. So really, all you have to do is a little bit of basic research to refute that one.
Yes, and also, like because we had this conversation last week about this. If we're talking about the observations of modern peoples and modern scientific instruments, not the observations of people thousands of years ago who were writing texts. They had no idea about the stuff that we know now about the universe, and I don't think if you try to put those two things together, it doesn't really work. So. Dennis, thanks for bringing this up. Thanks for sharing your pet peeves with us. I hope you have a restful night, so you're not as peeved.
Well, I've got a cold, and I hadn't had one for 2 or 3 years, so I did okay to it. So I'm glad of that. I didn't cough or anything. So appreciate you guys, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
I won't give you my prayers, but I'll spare you some thoughts. How about that? All right, Dennis. Take care. So like he is making the point about, there's stuff that we don't know about gravity, but you gotta be careful if you're saying, I have no idea. We have no idea about it.
Right.
Because like V, I don't know you at the quantum level, but I still have an idea of you, right? Like I don't have to know the inner machinations of every single part inside of you to know.
I don't know me at the quantum level.
Exactly, right? So maybe we really don't know anything if we don't know it at the quantum level.
I mean, hard solipsism again.
It always, this is the trap. This is the trap of running a show called Truth Wanted, because then people get you on. It always boils down to, what do you mean by truth, Dan? And also, well, with hard solipsism, you can't really prove anything. These are like the running themes of the show. And I should have known this when I, picked a name like that.
But it's so catchy.
Yeah. And calling myself Objectively Dan, I mean, I was asking for
yeah, you are
fights on that one.
You deserve it a little bit.
You're probably